Texting and drinking is never a good idea. We've all done it, and we've all regretted it. The drunken texts you forgot you sent. Prospectors collected them in inTEXTicated on Rock 107.
Long Island, New York, from the 347. Can I sleep on your couch? My wife just found my eHarmony account. From the 530, Redding, California. He showed me a 4-inch blonde hair that grows out of his side. He calls it his little ray of sunshine. Please come get me.
You hit send, and we hit the floor laughing in inTEXTicated on Rock 107.
Area code 703, Arlington, Virginia. It wasn't lemon Gatorade. And from the 310 in Los Angeles. Then they all walked away with their drinks I bought them, and the fat one slapped me in the face. I left, and my car had been towed. Worst night ever.
Proof that booze and cell phones don't mix in inTEXTicated on Rock 107.
Area code 219, Hammond, Indiana. She said her black Crocs were her dress-up Crocs. And right up the road in Binghamton, New York, area code 607. You need to leave class, get on Facebook, and start untagging immediately.
Hey, we found him in your telephone in inTEXTicated on Rock 107.
Balloon race ride, downdraft. Hey, if it spins, I'm on it. But I don't like the roller coasters. They shake you around too much. I feel like I spent 5 minutes in an MMA ring when I get off the coaster. I'm sweaty, disoriented, and stumbling around. I almost always throw up after the ride. Hey, kind of like, with Jimmy. Yeah, right. Like that last 5 minutes.
And that was another episode of 1 Minute Inside a Woman's Head.
And now it's time for another episode of A Few Seconds Inside a Man's Head.
Hanging out at the amusement park. She won't ride the coasters. I can't ride the spinny rides. Ugh. This is going to be a long day. Whoa, speaking of long, nice stems, Mama.
And that was another episode of A Few Seconds Inside a Man's Head.
We're number 8. Good morning. I'm Rock 107's Prospector. West Virginia is the state that has the longest marriages. Washington, D.C., not a state, but still has the shortest. And here in Pennsylvania, we're top 10 longest, coming in at number 8. But no matter where you live, your relationship is probably doomed if you recognize anything from today's list of top 5 signs your marriage won't last. Here we go. Number 5. You sleep in separate beds, in separate houses, with separate people. Top 5 signs your marriage won't last. Number 4, your wedding album is in the Goodwill pile. Number 3, he spends a lot of time at the office, and he doesn't have a job. Top 5 signs your marriage won't last long. Number 2, the only reason she says your name during sex is because you changed it to Ryan Gosling. And the number 1 reason your marriage won't last long, after you got married, she kept her last name and last boyfriend. There you have it.
Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
Trader Joe's is recalling cookies because they may contain rocks, and now Grape Nut Cereal is suing them for copyright infringement. Pete Davidson has agreed to do community service as punishment for reckless driving charges against him. The judge designated his act of service as not releasing any new movies or TV shows for at least a year. People say Tom Brady's new supermodel girlfriend has a body to die for. Not to be confused with me, who has a body to die from.
It's 60 Minutes meets Gone in 60 Seconds. Tune in tomorrow for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107. Tough right now. There's plenty of bad news, but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
A dad in Arkansas made good on a big promise he made to his stepdaughter. He used to joke that if he ever hit the lottery, he'd give her the winning ticket. Well, last Monday's Powerball drawing, he matched 4 numbers plus the Powerball, and he paid the extra $1 for the multiplier, which upped his prize from $50,000 to $200,000. He showed up at her home to surprise her and said he had some good news and bad news. The good news, he gave her the ticket. The bad news, she's got to start paying her own cell phone bill.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
Hi, and welcome to what was to be Seahorse Week. We at the Hallmark Channel are sad to say that Seahorse Week has been canceled due to an unprovoked shark attack. Those bastard people at Discovery just won't let us shine. But don't fret, we at Hallmark promise to deliver a friendlier view of the sea without the blood-soaked violence associated with other cable oceanic feature-type programming. So, Hallmark is proud to present Starfish Week, the golden diva of the tidal pool, laying out on a rock in all her glory, soaking up the mid-afternoon sun, just laying there, enjoying the sun. The starfish in the sun, soaking it all in. It's Starfish Week, following My Sea Cucumber and Me on Hallmark.
What's a yambag? A fool, an idiot, a blockhead, a dunce, or an ignoramus. You know, a dullard, simpleton, or a clot, nitwit, dipstick, pea-brain, mouth breather, or cretin.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Yambag of the Day, as decided by you at rock107.com.
Here are the nominees. Nominee number 1.
This guy is our first ever two-time Yambag of the Day nominee. A guy was recently caught stealing 3 cakes from a grocery store, and the icing on the cake was the thief himself. Literally. A 24-year-old man in western Pennsylvania named DeQuai Jackson ordered 3 cakes from a grocery store with photos of himself printed on that. Then he went through the self-checkout and didn't pay for the cakes. He bought some candles, canned items, some cupcakes, and he paid $12.99, but didn't scan the cakes, which were worth more than $90 total. Police are still looking for him, but come on, it's only a matter of time. They ID'd him based on security footage and the photos he submitted for the cakes. DeQuai has a criminal record. 2 years ago, he was caught stealing $1,000 worth of Yankee candles from a CVS, which landed him his first time being nominated for Yambag of the Day.
Nominee number 2.
Ever thought about renting your place out on Airbnb when you go on vacation? A guy in California recently went to Vancouver for a few months to spend some time with his family. He was on a 1-year lease, so he kept paying rent. He just locked up and left town. But when he got back, a bunch of his stuff was missing, including his PlayStation, his computer, and a gun, so he filed a police report. But it turned out there hadn't been a break-in. His place has been rented out on Airbnb by his landlord. He told the landlord he'd be out of town, and that's when the landlord realized he could make a little extra cash by renting the place out without telling him. Well, now they're trying to claim they did nothing wrong, and they're refusing to pay for the stuff that got stolen. The guy posted about it in a Reddit group where lawyers give out free legal advice, and they're all telling him to sue. They say his landlord violated his, quote, reasonable expectation of privacy, end quote, so he can get a lot more than what his old PlayStation was worth.
And the winner is
the man who stole 3 cakes with his face printed on them. Dude, you didn't think they'd figure out who you were? Your face is on the crap you stole. You are the Yambag of the Day, and we'll move on to Friday's Yambag of the Week competition. Keep it here for all the nominees for Prospector's Yambag of the Day, weekday mornings on Rock 107. Thanks for listening to Prospector's Prime Cuts podcast. Be sure to catch us live weekdays from 5:30 to 10 a.m. on Rock 107 or online at rock107.com or the Rock 107 app, a free download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.